Hold up. Fred made this?
So I know you didn't have a perfect journey coming in like to college. So tell me about that. How is your journey like at Cincinnati, starting up from Cincinnati and then coming to Hampton?
For sure. Coming out of high school, man, I had a lot of maturing to do. I didn't really appreciate, the position I was in. I didn't really appreciate the game. I kind of just took it for granted. So, pretty much at Cincinnati, not being able to play the way I kind of expected myself to. And, those trials and tribulations, it kind of forced me to, like, grow up mentally. And, my redshirt junior year, that was the year when I had to make a decision to either stay or give myself an opportunity to, display my talents.
Mm-hmm.
So I just felt most comfortable going to Hampton University. I knew Coach P. He knew me when I was a freshman at Cincinnati. So it was more so like a business decision. I just wanted to go somewhere where, I can prove to myself as well as, scouts and NFL teams that I had the ability to play at the next level. So, I just stay focused, stay humble, just handle my business every day, stay out of trouble.
So you say you went through some trials and tribulations. Do you mind talking about them?
I don't mind at all. So my freshman year being redshirted, that really hurt me because, when you a freshman going into college, nobody is really, they playing is not the red shirt.
Right.
So the expectations I had set for myself, it kind of hurt me a little bit. Mm-hmm. But it ended up being for my good because it gave me a chance to get bigger, faster, stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of get used to the game more.
For sure.
My redshirt freshman year, I still had a lot of growing to do just as far as just becoming a student of the game. So even though I wanted to play, I don't think I was preparing mentally to be in that position. Because when the bullets is flying, it's like you got to understand what you're doing. You got to understand your opponent, and you got to be out there with confidence in what you're doing. So I think redshirt sophomore year is when I began to become more of a student of the game. But at that point we had a coaching change, and for the ones who don't know, viewing this, a lot of times when there's a coaching change, they implement the guys they recruited. So it ain't no hard feelings. That's just a part of the business.
Right.
So at that point, I was a little bit, behind, whatever you want to call it. And redshirt junior year, that was really the year where I felt like it was really time for me to embrace that role as like one of the older guys and, just truly lock in all fall camp. So, locked in 2 weeks. For our defense, throughout our defense, we had something called the takeaway board. So whatever player gets the most takeaways throughout fall camps wins the takeaway board. So me having a lot to prove my redshirt junior year, I made that a goal of mine, each day. That was my mindset. Like, I need that takeaway board. You know what I mean? So after the 2 weeks, I accomplished that, 5 takeaways throughout fall camp. But after that, I was placed on the scout team as a redshirt junior.
After winning the takeaway board?
Yeah, after winning the takeaway board, 2018. So, at that point, I knew it was time for me to make a decision. I'm going to just leave it right there. But, I'm thankful for everything because all of my trials and tribulations, it allowed me to become more humble. Like, it allowed me to handle my blessings. Like, don't nothing get to my head. So
that's good.
Sometimes people might feel like I'm not excited or enthusiastic, but it ain't that. It's just like I went through a lot, to be able to be blessed to be in the position I am. So that's why, like, I be chilling. Like,
For sure.
Nah, for sure. Like, 100%.
So you already talked about, like, the coaching experience. So, like, getting into college, was it hard for you trusting coaches because they either move so much or because they just do other things? Like, how was that? Did you trust every coach you had in college?
You said that I trust every coach I had in college or in high school?
In college, because people don't know that at high school, the coaches that's there, they're usually there for your whole 4 years.
Exactly.
And in college is different. So, like, how does your trust go about that?
I definitely trusted the coaches that recruited me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they definitely had my best interest.
Mm-hmm.
But like you say, coaches move around a lot. So whenever it's new coaches, it's new players they're going to implement. That's just the way it goes. That's just the way the business goes.
Mm-hmm.
So as time went on, like I started to understand, you know, how things went, which is why I had to make a decision.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure.
But yeah, I had a great relationship with the coaches that recruited me originally out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had my best interest. So I was just young, man. I had a lot to learn, man. Get adjusted to the game, man.
Mm-hmm.
Maturing physically, mentally. So I wasn't ready when I first came out. Yeah, it's a lot faster, man.
No, for sure.
You know, in high school, you the man, but when you get up to that, you know, that FBS level, man, everybody just like you, if not better.
Right.
Especially when you young. So,
so it's all about what's going to separate you and how. But what somebody smart told me, the game is played the shoulders above. So it's like all mental game. So once you have the mental and you build the physical, the game comes easier to you.
I'm telling you, man.
For sure.
That film study, understanding your opponent, you know, understanding what they want to do out of certain, you know, formations, concepts they like to run, man.
So for all the young guys out there, remember, film is key. Film is key.
I'm telling you, man, I used to watch film at the beginning of every week on our opponents, bro. Watching the receivers, their releases, you know, they go-to guys. When do they like to go to them, on what kind of routes? Stuff like that being important.
That's good. That's a tip right there for people. That's a jewel right there. So what was your biggest adjustment coming from high school to college?
Physically, getting adjusted to the game. And then mentally, just becoming a student of the game. Because in high school, the game's based more off like your athleticism, you know. But college, you got to truly understand what's happening and developing in front of you, you know, understanding your opponent. That's probably the biggest thing, mental.
Did you ever have a problem like waking up on time for early workouts, like waking up at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, or just something like that? Did you have a problem with that?
Man, I could say I was late to a lift or two.
To a lift or two?
I'd say that. Yeah.
Every athlete was. He'll get
that's what I'm saying.
Every athlete was. I remember one time I had a meeting at like 6 in the morning, right? And this is the worst feeling when you miss a meeting or you late to that trip. Your phone just blowing up. It's crazy.
I'm telling you, bro.
I'm
telling you, son.
I just like instantly like you just wake up out your seat.
It'd be like, bro, and it'd be like, I don't know what it is, but when you late, man, you just running nonstop, man. You don't take no break. You run straight to the facility, man.
Straight to the facility. Don't matter how far that is. You pull up so fast. It's crazy. I'm like, man, I know I can run this fast with a backpack on. You kicking it.
You don't get tired of nothing.
Nah, you get dressed in 0.5 seconds. Like, you don't care what you got on. No, that's definitely the worst feeling.
That's the worst, though.
Some people don't realize, like, we really have to. That's like crazy. Because some people don't realize, like, we go to sleep at like 10 o'clock and then wake up at 5 o'clock after having a full day. We got to keep continuing to do that. So that definitely is like.
Still got to eat, man.
Still got to eat.
You got to shower.
Got to do homework. Like,
Totally.
there's a lot that people really don't realize that goes on to this lifestyle. So what adjustments do you have to make so far going to college to the NFL?
Like I say, from high school to college, it's all about the details and understanding your opponent. So I would say once you understand having that kind of approach in college, it's very similar at the next level, because at the next level, you understanding where your opponent can hurt you as far as being in different coverages. You know, because every coverage might have like a soft spot or weakness. So it's more so about understanding where your opponent is trying to go to when you're in different coverages, and where you're trying to force your opponent to go through in different coverages. Okay. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So once you understand that, and you understand how to play it, and you understand your landmarks and what you protecting, it's gonna make everything easy. One thing that's beneficial about this time now, you know, with everything going on, just having Zoom calls, so it's giving you an opportunity to truly understand everything mentally before you even take a step on the field. Right. And when you're a student of the game, man, that's beyond helpful. Like just understanding how you play in each coverage. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So like, I'll say that.
Going back to these days, they know your route before just by how you lining up. Like, it's crazy. Just because all being a student of the game. Like, the other day, I was at workouts, I was training. I lined up going, you know me, I talk my shit and just like go against anybody, right? Yeah. So I line up at receiving. I'm playing. I'm on the top of I'm at the bottom of the numbers. I'm about to run a slant for my first route. Why the DB and all the players calling my route, talking about something? He about to run a slant.
Yeah, because you out wide, man. You trying to create that space.
Right quick. It's just like
you can tell a lot based off somebody's alignment, where they trying to get to.
That's really big on being a student of the game too.
Yeah, understanding your leverage. All that.
What was your best college moments and your worst college moments as an athlete?
Just as far as being on the field.
Just as far as anything. It couldn't be being on the field, it can be being off the field. Whatever you feel like your best moment was, what would that be?
I'm gonna start with my worst moment. Probably or like most hurtful moment was winning the takeaway board and then being placed on the scout team. You know what I'm saying? Like I was crying off that. You know what I mean? But probably the best moment was celebrating with everybody in Chicago when we beat Howard. Just like just the vibe and the energy of the team and all the guys being around each other when we won, man, it was just great. So I'll probably say that.
All right. Just like having that successful win over a big win and just partying with all your guys.
Because it's a rivalry. Hampton versus Howard.
Tell me about the draft process. Like, how did that go about? Training, agents, all that. Talk to me about that.
Nah, blessed. I had an agent from Atlanta. His name is Edward. That was willing to pay for my training down there in Atlanta. So I was down there for about 3 months, man, at U48 Fitness with Manny and BJ, man. Great trainers as far as when it comes to the combine preparation and improving your numbers. Man, they truly, like, working with them allowed me to, like, maximize my athletic, like, potential, you know? So just being down there for 3 months, man, learning new things, new mechanics, and then being around other guys that were training for the draft, man, who were just, like, great dudes, like, aside from football, like, just as a person, you know, they spirit, man, it was just great because I still talk to a few of those guys also, like the guys I trained with in Atlanta. It was just unfortunate because I was looking forward to coming back to Hampton for Pro Day, but with the virus and everything being canceled, we weren't able to do our Pro Day and things like that. But it was a great experience, man. I learned a lot, just as far as on the testing side.
Did you ever get to run your 40 for any NFL teams, or how did
not for any teams? I didn't run it for any teams.
Okay. So when did you leave? You say you trained for 3 months. Like, when did you leave, and how did you handle school during that time?
Well, luckily I was able to finish my degree in December.
Okay.
And then I had left to Atlanta December 27th. Okay. And I was there until like the end of March.
So you was able to finish school, then train, and just focus on football. You didn't have to worry about school or nothing.
Yeah, so thankfully, man, it all timed up.